Good morning and hello again, everyone. Come to you from Northeast Pennsylvania, which is where I live. And I had a number of comments on YouTube about the gear I use and the other stuff. So I said I'd do a little review on it. So that's what I'm going to do. And I started my trip on May 8th and right here. And I got back on Thursday, the 28th. So it was 21 days, and it's only been 3 days. I guess today is Sunday here. And so all went well, and I'll do the best I can to explain everything I use. I don't endorse anything. I don't make any money. This is just for fun. And actually, I'm a dirt biker, a hot rod street biker, and a Dragon land speed racer. So, but my son moved to Michigan a few years ago, and it was an 8-hour drive. So I decided, well, I'll try this touring stuff. So I bought the Yamaha Tracer to go out to see him, and that led to my Virginia trips, the Blue Ridge Parkway, Tail of the Dragon, all of that, and it turned out to be really fun. And then I did the Iron Butt Saddle Sore. That was fun. And then last year I went from Northeast Pennsylvania. I went down to New Jersey and stepped in the Atlantic Ocean and went out to Santa Monica and then went up to Sacramento and then came back across the country, and turned out to be super fun. And so I'm starting to like this touring stuff, and that's what led to my Alaska trip, 9,040 miles. And like I said, I'm just an amateur at all of this, and even YouTube. But I just do it for the fun of it. At 71 years old with some autoimmune diseases and a number of other things, it's time to have some fun. And I had no idea if I could make it, and I figured if I didn't, I would just turn around and come back. But it all went well, so enough with all of that. Here's what I used. And like I said, I don't endorse anything. This is just what worked for me. Everybody's different, and what works for you may be different, but I can at least tell you my experiences. And like I said, I'm not a touring rider or anything. I guess I am now after 2 years. And but as far as the gear goes, we'll start with I used the Climb Latitude suit. Bought that last year. It's your next to the best touring suit. It's not an adventure suit. So, but it's 2-layer premium Gore-Tex, and you have to put layers underneath it. And so when it gets cold, but it works. It was very expensive, works really great. And this year I see they redesigned it. And so they made, I haven't looked at the changes, but they made some changes to it for 2026. And type of armor it uses a CE level 1. But at the D30 armor, what Climb I was using, their high-end suits. But Climb now for 2026, they've developed their own armor, and it's they still have the CE1, CE2 level ratings, but it's supposed to be a lot lighter and more flexible. They call it their Rogue armor, and their new redesigned suits, all different ones, they all come with it. Now you can buy this separate, and I could upgrade to it. So. But anyway, that's the suit. It worked. 100% waterproof. And I just washed it last night because it was so dirty. And I got it over the chairs here drying. And so that was 100% happy with it. And they also used Climb's puffer vest. This is the Maverick. And it's 90-10 Grey Goose down. And it's incredibly warm. I use it as a mid-layer. And sometimes I throw a sweatshirt and a long sleeve shirt on too, but as a mid layer, that was incredible. And you can wear it as a standalone jacket too. Next thing, gloves. Bought these last year. These are Dainese gloves, and I don't think that this model's available anymore. But they're insulated, and they're winter riding gloves. And they're Gore-Tex, and I use these all the way up on my trip, all the way up to Alaska and part way back. And then when I got some warmer days, once I got back into the States, I used Hale's. I believe these are their Score 4.0 GTX gloves, and Held makes some of the best gloves in the world. And then again, all this stuff's a lot of money, but it all really paid off. These are not insulated, but they're very protective, and they're goat leather, and they're Gore-Tex. So I use them when I didn't use them. So all the way up, part way back, and then the rest of the way I use these, and they work great. Helmet, Shoei GT Air 3. Bought this last year, and with the drop-down visor, it's almost a must when you're driving, when you're riding, because you can flip it up and down when you get into the shady spots. Super great, Shoei, handmade in Japan, great helmet, and it was designed in the wind tunnel. So that was the helmet I use. So happy with that. And then as far as what you call that, this is the neck garter or whatever you want to call it, and it's really for rain protection, because what it does, once you put your suit on, you put this on and put it over your collar, and this goes under your helmet. So when it rains, which I rode through a lot of rain, the water comes off the back of your helmet, and then it runs down this, and then it runs down the back of your suit. So, but it does a great job for wind protection, and I actually used it instead of an insulated one that I had. So I used this almost the whole trip until it got hot. So that's for that. These are my Daytona riding boots, and these are, believe it or not, these are made by the same company, the same family company over in Germany, and that's all they make is boots. And they're in their third generation now, and they're Daytona touring boots, and I've used them last year, this year. Super, all kind of adjustments. It's just, these are great. Then again, expensive, because I started off with, you know, with Revzilla store brand. There's some of their coats and gear 2 years ago when I got the Yamaha, and I should have just bought all this stuff, but it was just too much money, and which I ended up spending anyway. So anyway, we'll take a look. This is what I used on the back of the bike. I use Oxford's T45, what they're called, they're dry bags, they're dry stash. That's 45 liters. That's what I did all my clothes in. This is what all my gear went in, all of my electronics. And that was their T30, 100% waterproof. And these are really great. Lots of attachment points. And this is the second year now. So cross country last year, Alaska this year. These go in the panners, the side panners on the Tracer. These are bags that I bought aftermarket. Forget the brand. These are great. There's the brand. And I packed all different stuff in them. And very nice. Then this goes on the back. This is Oxford's, what they call their roll bag. 100% waterproof, but it's 50 liters. And you can pack all kind of stuff in it. And what's nice, I have a top box for the Tracer, which weighs empty 12 pounds. This is only weighs 3 pounds, so there's a difference of 9 pounds. And it holds a lot more, and it's up high on the bike. So that's why I use the roll bag instead of my top box. And like I said, just what works for me. And as far as some of the other stuff that I used that wasn't actually gear, I tried a tank bag this year. This is SW Mototech, or Motec. This is their 3-liter model, 100% waterproof. This is one of the best things that I bought. I think I mentioned that in my videos. And I kept all my small stuff in there, my passport, all my different things, and it's so convenient. You know, it's in a way when you're putting gas in and getting off and on the bike, but I tell you what, I would never do a big trip without some kind of tank bag. It doesn't matter on the brand, whatever works for you. As far as my ear protection, I used Earpiece. They make many different models. These are the ones for touring and for navigation, so you can hear music and you can hear navigation. my hearing's not good to begin with. So, but I use these almost entirely for the whole trip, because after day 4, on my GT Air 3, my Sena SL3 Bluetooth, which is designed to, it's built right into the helmet. See, there's nothing hanging off, and it mounts in the back and charges. After day 4, it quit working. And I think if I just got on Google, I think it was something simple. But to tell you the truth, I didn't really miss the music and the turn-by-turn navigation. I mean, I had the big screen right in front of me, and I had the iPhone, I didn't feel like I had to try to figure it out on the road. So, but anyway, that was the update on that. Electronic stuff, I use my my MacBook Air, which has the M4 chip. I bought it last year, and I do my video editing with just standard iMovie, because like I said, I'm not really good at all this stuff, so I just do it for the fun of it. And so I use my MacBook Air to do the what you call all of the editing on, and then I have my iPad as a backup. I use that sometimes to get online, check things. I use an iPhone 16 I bought last year, and that's what I use. And I use Apple Maps with it. I started using Apple Maps in conjunction with the Garmin on the Yamaha. But and this is on a powered mount, and it's right on a bike. And then I also have, as far as backup, this is my Garmin Montana 700i, and I use this for snowmobiling and all my off-road stuff. I do a lot of snowmobiling, and this has the inReach. So my inReach is active, and so I have satellite texting. I got Garmin's inReach with their SOS button, so if something really bad happens, I can hit that. So I had that along, never used it. And then as far as the Yamaha goes, they teamed up with Garmin with their motorized app, which is on the phone, and that's what I do my main navigation with. I use Garmin's motorized app, and then you use Yamaha's app, and then that mirrors to the display screen on the bike itself, and that worked unbelievable good. And you can do it 2 ways. You can connect it to the bike with Wi-Fi, which the bike produces, and it'll mirror up, or you could do it with a USB. I've done it both ways, and they both work great. So main navigation was the Garmin motorized app, and I started using this part way up just for field stops and stuff, and then I just kept using it just as a backup, with Apple Maps, and that worked great too. Actually works better once you get into towns and stuff, because it shows you the red lights and all. So anyway, that's that. And as far as the GoPros that I used the GoPro 5, an old one that I had on my handlebars, which I actually lost up by Destruction Bay. And but the main GoPro I used on the chin mount on my helmet, and I used the GoPro 13, which I bought last year. I'm not like a real smart on this stuff, so I just use it in the basic settings because it's so complicated unless you're into it. And I believe in the basic settings it records in 4K at 30 frames per second. But when I process it on my MacBook Air, I process it at a 1080, and it reduces the file size, and it's still good viewing. So that's the info on the GoPro. And also I have it on the what you call the GoPro makes the media mod, which is what the GoPro's inside right now. You can see it. And so it's nice when it's not hooked up onto the helmet with and I use an internal microphone inside the helmet. And but when you're using it just as a handheld, this works great as far as the sound. So the media mod is really nice, and it's obviously it's more money and all, but it gives you the option to use an external microphone right there, and then to charge with the USB-C, and then there's another port for something else there. So, but that's the info on the GoPro stuff. And then Starlink Mini. I know this is a lot of this is overkill, but to me it's fun, and so I just wanted to try it. And this is Starlink Mini. I have it on the what you call the 100 gigabyte roam plan, so you can use it while you're moving it. And I think it was $50 for the month. And I just shut it off last night. I put it on pause, so now it's $10 a month until I canceled the plan. And you can still use it, just that it's basically for texting and just low low gigabyte usage. And so I have it as a backup, and I can always turn it back on. So I'm planning on using it for snowmobiling this year too, and I'll turn the plan back on and also. So that's nice. And I used it 4 times. I used it once at the one place that I stayed up in, it was somewhere on the Alaska Highway, and the internet service wasn't great. So, and it comes with an adapter for AC power. So I plugged it in. I plugged it into the wall. I went out. It needs a clear view of the sky. I put it on the back of the bike, and I ran it off of AC power. It worked great. And to tell you the truth, the speeds are really good. And you know, it's not fiber. I have fiber at home, you know, for my internet, but it worked great. And then 3 times I used it on the bike itself. And I did have a problem where the battery ran dead up in the upper peninsula in Michigan, and it didn't make any sense. But I think it didn't have to do with the bike. It had to do with the power up converter, or the step up converter that I wired in with the relay. And when I get more time the next few weeks, I'm gonna get my test equipment out and see what's going on with that. But anyway, but the Starlink worked great, and it gives you it was just a good feeling having know how you could connect to the outside world, even though I have satellite texting. And it was just nice to be able to know you could do that. And you know, it's $250. So compared to all this other stuff at this point in my life, it was fun to try. And now I have backup at home, so when my internet goes down at home, I can just turn the plan back on and use it. So, and everybody, some of the comments I got about riding all those miles on my Yamaha, that's the stock seat on the Tracer. What I did last year before I went cross country, I wasn't sure, and I figured, well, let me try it. And I put a 1/2 inch of gel under the stock seat cover. I just uncovered it, put the gel in, cut it to size, and then restapled it back on. And I don't know if I really needed it, but that's the stock seat with a 1/2 inch of gel. And the reason that, like, for 10 years now, I've been riding my mountain bikes and my dirt bikes. So see the seat on that, over the gnarly stuff for the last, actually 12 years. So I don't know, I don't have a problem, you know, as far as riding and sitting. And so, but that all worked out. I did the best I could putting this together. And let me see, I got to look at my notes here because I'm sure I'm missing something. I ended up, as far as gas, these are rounded off numbers because my brain is so used up from the trip. I average about 43 miles a gallon. And the fuel mileage really varied from what wind and the speed. So it ended up about $1,200 in fuel for the 9,040 miles. Hotels, gifts, etc. About another 6,000. So it was about 7,000 overall. And I used my Visa card for the whole trip. And except for one place where it was $4 and some cents in the UP, I actually used cash, but I used my Visa card. I had no problem all the way up. I had one gas station that wouldn't take it, so I used my MasterCard once. But and I had Canadian money, I had American money, never ended up using it, except for that $4. And then what else? And I did have I have Progressive Insurance here in the USA for my bike, and I called them, and they issued me a yellow insurance card for Canada. Evidently, their insurance requirements are different. So I got that card. I never got asked for it through all of the customs checks that I went through, but I had that. And And also the tires on the bike, they're new for 2026. They're the Bridgestone T33s, and excellent in the rain. And the front tire still has probably at least 1,000 to 2,000 miles on it, left in it. The back tire, as you can see in the videos, I replaced at 7,400. And that could have went a little bit further, but I changed it at 7,400. So hopefully this all helps you. And just do it. I mean, it was an incredible trip and experience. And I'd like to add, I went through radar, I don't know how many times, 10 to 15, maybe 20 times through the whole trip. Not one speeding ticket. And you just go with the flow wherever it's faster than the speed limit, if everybody's doing it. And other places just follow the speed limit. So I had no problems, and I had no close calls. It was just not even, the only thing was near Chicago, I had one panic stop, which I wouldn't call it a close call, but was heavy on the brakes. We all went out on one of the freeways. We all went from 85 to 35 in about 2 seconds, but that wasn't a big deal. So all of that was, like I said, it was a fun, safe trip. It just, and like I said, I'm not a touring rider. I guess I am now. And but it was just fun to do, and it's not so much the bike, it's all the people you meet and what you see, and it was fascinating. So next year we'll have to see how my health holds out, and then you know, I'd like to do the Pacific Coast Highway. So anyway, hope this all helps you guys. I know it's not very professional, but hey, it got me to Alaska and back.